So how do you apply AI into your business? I think as a leader, really we should be thinking beyond just kind of some tactical quick fixes, right? Sometimes we're thinking about like, what are AI solutions that we could adopt, or like, let's hurry up and bring somebody in and, we're going to rework this whole thing and let's get all of our employees out, right? That's kind of like, how do I hurry up and do this? And I think it actually starts with first understanding like, what are the best uses for AI? Like, what is AI really good at in the world and in your business? Where is it going to have the biggest impact? So that as you're kind of thinking about that overall org structure and you're thinking about where you can get AI lift in your organization, I think understanding what AI really can do is a great starting point. Because I think, as people who are starting to dabble in it, and I mean, maybe it's just that we're in this industry now and we're talking about it all the time, but I think even outside of just, my circle, I constantly hear, whether it's like at a baseball game or, out at dinner or something, there are people talking about AI right now, right? So I think it's piqued people's interest. It's piquing people's attention for sure right now. But I think a lot of people are still using AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or whatever your preferred LLM is. They're really just using it more as like a search engine function. That often is kind of how I see people get started with it, which is great. Like we have to start somewhere. And then I see people kind of move into the bucket of like content creation. So it's like, okay, I want to dive in and make this email better for me. Or like, oh, my employee really frustrated with me, or that client that I just worked with sent me a nasty email and now I need to respond. How can I do that professionally? And so I see that kind of be like the next step that people start to take in their organizations is like, okay, how can we say things better? Which is great because it's a large language model. It's good at language. So it's a good use case. And then I see kind of as the doors open more and our minds start to expand a little bit more, I think I tend to see people move into more of that deep research, strategic thinking, utilizing AI to be almost like a creative partner. But even then still, like we're still leaving a lot on the table because there's so much more we could be doing in our organizations. And so we like to kind of help organizations and leaders go beyond and start to think about AI for data analysis, AI for training their teams, AI for documenting their SOPs. And there's just so many fantastic ways that we can be strategically using AI in our businesses that we can get beyond just like, okay, let's try a cool prompt and see what happens. Yeah,
definitely. How are you, you come from the HR side of things. How are you seeing like what is the impact within organizations with the people in the implementation of AI? What are some things that an owner should understand around that?
Yeah. Well, Workday did a global study and it showed that employers tend to think that they're doing a better job implementing than employees do. So I think the stat is like 65% of employers would say that they're implementing AI and that it's going well. And then of that group, like 45% of their employees would say like, yeah, it's going great. So there is some dissonance off it, which is so normal. Just again, in our organizations where we as leaders tend to think things are going a little bit better than our employees experience it. So that's something to be mindful of, is that there is truly an AI trust gap. So there's a gap with how well your employees think you're doing it, but then also how trusting they are of using those AI tools, trusting them to perform accurately, trusting in the result, and for sure trusting that their job is going to be secure. So I think there is some resistance depending on the organization, but I also see that organizations that are really coming at it from more of a strategic mindset, and they're seeing this as a tool that's going to enhance their businesses, and they're thinking about how that fits in with their employee experience. I see them really taking a more thoughtful approach of let's train our employees, let's equip them, let's empower them, let's help them really start to access and utilize these tools. And then because of that, because it's like in their hands and they get to be a part of bringing AI into their organizations, I tend to find those organizations the employees are much more receptive and they're happy and often excited to get to use AI in their roles.